Well, I'm joined now by a veteran U.S. political campaigner who can really help us understand where the battle lines lie. Anthony Coley was communications manager for the late Ted Kennedy and was once named America's Public Relations Professional of the Year.
Great.
Thanks very much for coming in, Anthony. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So what sort of message have the American people sent to President Barack Obama?
Well, two things. Let me put this in perspective, right? Not since 1948 have any political party gained more than as many seats, and we're looking at 60 seats that Republicans are going to pick up this year. And so voters sent a very clear and concise message. They want Washington policymakers to focus first and foremost on jobs and the economy. All of the other significant legislative accomplishments that this president and this Congress have passed, and there have been many. You guys have reported a lot on the reform of the health delivery system. You talked about the Wall Street regulation ad nauseum, all proposals meant to protect American consumers. But despite all of that, voters are saying, you know what, our number one priority is jobs and the economy, and that's what we need you to focus on in Washington.
Right, so with that in mind, what do both the Republicans and the president need to do to show that they've heard what the voters are saying? Yeah,
there's got to be a meeting of the minds. Republicans have, for their part, have got to be able to show, unlike they did when they won the majority in 1994, they've got to be able to show that they are willing to work to deliver demonstrable results for the American people. They didn't do that in '94, and people really believe that because of that, it caused President Clinton to get reelected. Now, President Obama, for his part, you know, he's humble. We're going to see at 1 o'clock Eastern time today that the president is having a news conference. He's already reached out to Speaker-designate John Boehner and offered his congratulations and commitment to find common ground.
What is the way forward for Obama now, though? His team must have seen this coming.
Yeah.
How much of a fight does he have on his hands?
Yeah, well, there are a couple things. The first thing that they've got to do, the president, as you guys know, is about to embark on a 10-day trip to Asia. Once he gets back, he has 1 day before he gets back, there's going to be a lot of talk about these Bush tax cuts, which are due to expire in 2 years, in 2 months, rather. And so before the election, we saw a lot of the poisoning of the well, if you will, in terms of rhetoric. We're not going to see that.
So he's going to backtrack on this?
Well, I don't think they would characterize it as that. I think they would characterize it as a way to do what the American people told him to do, which is work together to advance
But the scene is still potentially set for a showdown between Congress and Obama.
Yeah, it is. But here's the deal. Reagan and Clinton both had this exact same scenario. You'll remember in 1982, Reagan lost seats. The same thing, his party lost seats. Same thing happened in 1994. Both presidents were re-elected by substantial majorities 2 years later. So I wouldn't count this president out just yet.
Very briefly, Anthony, even if Obama is faced with a Republican House, if they want anything from him, they're going to have to give him something in return, right? So does he also need to stand his ground and fight? He
does. He's got to do that, and there's going to be a balancing act, right? He can't say that, all right, this is what I need for you to do, and push it through. Republicans are not going to stand for that anymore. They have subpoena power now. They're going to be launching hearings and investigations, and so it's not going to be nearly as easy as it was to, you know, these first 2 years.
Well, Anthony Coley, former communications manager for the late Ted Kennedy, thanks very much.